Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Geek Corner review. And we get right down to it. This week I'll be talking about the just released recently newest addition to the Star Wars Saga, The Last Jedi. And before I get right into the review, I'll just say this has been a very, very controversial movie. Let's just say that much. I mean, I wouldn't say divisive, because it seems more like there's straight up there's some. I mean, it's just caused a lot of controversy. From like, I guess y'all have read about the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing and all that stuff. I'll get more into that later, but I just say it's more controversial than divisive. I read thinking that maybe this is the most divisive movie since Justice League, but it's not really so much divisive as it is. It caused a lot of folks to scratch their heads or just throw their hands up in disgust and just but and then but I'll get into more of that later. So straight to the movie. I said this was a really awesome movie. I mean, anybody seen one now? But it picks up directly after the events of the Force Awakens with Rey standing on the hill with handing Luke the lightsaber, his old lightsaber, his father's old lightsaber, and it just pretty much picks up from there. Um, I mean, there's so much. I mean, it was a really exciting movie. It was an awesome movie. It had a little bit of lulls in there too, kind of a little bit. It's just like, okay, this is kind of a slow part, but I mean, it was overall still a really good movie. I mean, there was a lot of action in it. I mean, the big battle sequence at the beginning was just kind of like, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and should already say this. If y'all haven't seen it yet, turn off this video right now and go see it because I'm going to have all grades of spoilers in here. So, spoiler alert, right straight out the bat. So, the big battle sequence at the beginning where they were trying to basically reminiscent of Empire Strikes Back, where they essentially found their base and they're trying to get away, trying to evacuate it. But this time it's even 10 times worse because they don't go on land to try to get them out of the base. They bring in the big guns, this big dreadnought looking Star Destroyer to try to blow up the base. It's like, good gracious. And basically, it's basically Poe versus this thing. So it's definitely pretty interesting. And it's like I said, it's the and eventually they do get away. I will say that much. But Poe gets in trouble with the higher ups because he just wouldn't listen and everything because of that whole situation. But eventually they end up on the run from the First Order. Somehow they're able to track them in hyperspace, and Snoke's ship shows up. And that thing is just flipping huge. I mean, I would say if you put a picture of it on the screen to kind of get an idea of it, it'd probably go out to here just about. I mean, it was that flipping huge, and it's just, I mean, it looks like, it kind of reminds me of a B-2 bomber, the way it looks. I mean, it's just huge. It's like a palace almost. But also on the subject of Snoke, they kind of you do get to see him in the flesh in this movie, and basically he does command the Force. I mean, command the Force because they show him using Force lightning, and in the confrontation later with Rey, you see him use the Force and against her in a strong way. I mean, he's just using it, just strong with the Force. But that's also one of the big controversies in this movie is who is Snoke, because they didn't really. I mean, that's the one thing about. I mean, the movie overall is really good. I mean, all the plot's good, story's good, and everything. But there's a lot of. I mean, going in there, there's a lot of questions of like. That's one of the big controversies and everybody's so mad about. I think because you go in there thinking like, who is Rey's parents? Who are her parents? And who is this Snoke? That seems to be the big bad of the First Order. I mean, who is this big supreme leader Snoke? And who is this? And kind of spoiler alert, you really don't get those questions answered in this. you don't get that. You don't really get those questions answered, and I think that's the one particular reason why on Rotten Tomatoes the fan score is pretty low, because there's a lot of angry fans went in expecting to get the questions answered by her parents about who Snoke is, and they didn't get none of that. And the one main reason about Snoke that you don't get a question answer is, I'm just going to say one more time, if you haven't seen it yet, please go see the movie, because I'm just about to spoil it for you. Spoiler alert: Snoke dies. It's just kind of shocking out of nowhere death. I mean, he's basically the whole scene is he's goading Kylo into trying to execute Rey, and out of nowhere he essentially pulls a swerve on him and slices him with Rey's lightsaber. It just kind of annoying. So I was like, I remember sitting there, I was like, what? I said, it's just kind of out of nowhere. I mean, and then, yet you're still left with, like, who was this guy to command the Force like he was, and then just get cut down this quick? And who is this guy? Who was he? And they basically just didn't reveal it, at least not for now. And then you got the thing about Rey's parents, and basically Kylo just feeds her this story that it's bogus, essentially saying that your parents were just piddling junk dealers on Jakku, and they just sold you off for a drink, and for drinking money and all that, and it's bogus, and she feels it's bogus too, because if you remember in Force Awakens, they showed that vision of her touching the lightsaber, and you see a ship speeding off with her stuck on the surface with that junk dealer that she essentially has to keep selling junk for to get food, essentially. And it's just, and as you know, what Kylo's telling her is bogus, but again, you don't get a real answer to that either. And so I think that's why it's caused a lot of divisions, because it's just it doesn't answer the questions. I mean, it's, as I've seen online in an article, it's like bringing up all these geek sites and YouTube videos and everything, kind of stirring everyone up to a fever pitch. Is like all these clickbait stuff, like Snoke's true identity revealed and Rey's parents revealed, and it's just give everybody such a fever pitch, and they went in there with such expectation, and they didn't get their questions answered. And I can understand that to a point, but I'm going to say this: I was one of those folks that kind of like, okay, maybe they'll answer it in the next movie, maybe, but it just didn't get answered. But it didn't ruin the movie for me. Overall, it was still a really, really good movie, good, exciting movie. A lot of action, a lot of oh my goodness moments, and it's just, like I said, particular with the whole Snoke thing, because that kind of come out of nowhere. And weird enough, in the theater that me and Ellen were in, we actually heard people applaud when that happened. And the next thing, when all of a sudden him and Kylo and Rey teamed up and was starting to cut down the Praetorian guards and everything, there was a lot of applause in the theater. I mean, and it's just, I've only been in a theater 2 or 3, at least a couple of times where there was applause during a scene like that. And it was really awesome to see that. It was just like, wow. I mean, it's pretty awesome. And then basically towards the end, whenever you see Luke there, it was just kind of I mean, it was really neat scene at the end where basically all these walkers open fire on Luke and everything, and then he essentially walks out of a smoldering crater and goes, and it's just like it was nothing. But I definitely ain't gonna spoil the reason how did that happen. You just definitely see that for yourself. But overall, like I said, it was really a great movie. Like I said, a lot of twists and turns, and a lot of like jaw-dropping moments and surprises. I mean, they didn't reveal a lot in the trailers, and definitely that's to be appreciated because you don't really get that anymore out of a lot of movies. They essentially reveal all the best scenes in the first in those things, you know. But I mean, it just gets me more excited with whether they reveal a lot or whether they don't. But as I said, I know there's a lot of, and I'm gonna say one of the ones that's really the sorest about this is What Culture, because it seems like for the last week since it's come out, all they can do by every single day is release a video that slams that slams the Last Jedi every single day of how it's crap and how it's bungled it and it was a goof and all this stuff, and I was just like, I highly disagree. It was a really good. It's not the best of the Star Wars movies, but it was still very good, very well done, and I give it 2 thumbs up. Definitely give it 2 thumbs up because it was a really good movie, and definitely will definitely going to get it on DVD. I've heard so many rumors about deleted scenes in it. I mean, it should be definitely worth seeing it again. That's for sure. So it's definitely worth going and seeing it. 2 thumbs up. And despite a lot of fan outcry, of course, yeah, again, I understand it to a point, but at the same time, it don't ruin the movie. It really don't. Maybe they'll reveal it in the future. You gotta have something for episode 9, right? You gotta have something for episode 9. So, yeah, definitely go see it. Um, and I hate that Carrie Fisher passed away before they could ever make episode 9 because they're really expanding on Leia's character in a way I'd never seen before. Basically, she's exploring her force powers and everything, and I just, it's just, I can't, I just, it's sad that won't be able to explore it anymore because she's gone now. But maybe they'll find a way to write around that a little bit. But still, it's still sad. It was really neat the way they were doing that with Leia, and like I said, all the characters were really good in this movie. Fun. It was fun. It was funny. Action packed. I'm gonna say the one thing they could have done when it is a scene with well, you'll know when you see it. I don't want to go into too much in, but there is one scene that's kind of a little bit gross, but anyway, there's a lot of gross. There were some gross scenes in Star Wars anyway, like um Jabba eating patty frogs whole and everything. It was kind of like ew moment in there, but you'll know when you see it. Overall, it was 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, great movie. Definitely leaves a lot of unanswered questions, but still gotta have something for episode 9, right? But what do y'all think? Have y'all seen it yet? What do y'all think? Um, y'all think? Drop a comment in the comment box below to hear what y'all have to think, have to say about this. Um, and what's your favorite Star Wars movie? Also, drop that comment box below. I'd love to hear from y'all. I guess that's all for this Geek Corner review. And as always, you have any comments about anything on the show or anything you like to see on the show, drop in the comment box below. I'd love to hear from y'all. And like, subscribe, share with all your friends, tell all your friends, and may the force be with you. And I'll see y'all next time.